Hello and welcome to a series of player interviews on the lead up to Tilt and Tap. I'm your host, Mr. Cookie, and I'm joined by a long-time friend of ours, big supporter of the scene, unretired TO, fourth place Mario Kart champion. G- How you doing, Gio? You're right.
I'm good, man.
It's really great to actually get you on the mic as well. You've been such a big help like across the West Midlands scene like over the last. Well,
Mhm.
I mean, you've been around a fair bit, haven't you, as well? But in particular, as well,
Yeah,
you've been helping out the local scenes, like with us bringing players to us. You've been helping out with Foundry as well, really be giving a big boost as well. Anybody who's attended VSF over the last few years, you've seen this guy like loitering around the place as well, chipping in and helping out the community. So yeah, I'm really happy to start chatting to you, mate. Wanted to ask first of all as well. We've talked about this like a little bit, like off camera, events, whatever on. But like, what's your kind of history with the scene and your history with like Tekken and all that as well?
so with Tekken, it was more of a case that I grew up playing it. I'm one of the few people that are older than the game itself. So I started off in like the earlier Tekkens, mostly as a casual because I was a kid.
Mm,
I didn't properly compete, you know, until like end of Tekken 7 before Tekken 8 was announced.
mm,
That's mostly because of all the Belong stuff I did. So I worked for Belong. And then I ended up running tournaments for uh, not even just Birmingham, just Belong in general. So I did stuff in Manchester as well. Was supposed to do some stuff in London, but didn't get a chance to. But
mm.
just because of doing Belong, that's how I met everybody. That's how I got into properly playing Tekken competitively rather than just playing for the sake of it.
Mm.
And that's literally what I've been doing for the past couple of years now. So
So like when we say that you're as old as the series, like and you started playing it casually, like were you literally there from like Tekken 1 day 1 sort of
I'm
thing?
technically older than Tekken 1, yes, but Tekken 3, let's just say Tekken 3 was the one I actually like fully got into it.
Yeah, I was gonna say because like for somebody to say like, oh, I've been here since day one, like, oh yeah, oh, I've got such nostalgia. I always like it when people have nostalgia for games that aren't really that good. You know what I mean? Because like you look back at like Tekken 1 is one of those. It's almost like a Crash Bandicoot 1 kind of game, if you ask me, where the
Mhm.
sequel was just objectively better and solved pretty much a lot of the issues that it had with the game. Everything was smoother, the roster was better, inputs weren't just like an actual chore to do, you know what I mean? And you started off with three, it's like 3 and 5 and 7, which are considered like still some of the best, aren't they? 5 DR specifically,
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah, DR definitely.
I never actually played DR. I've still to this day never touched it. I played a little bit of three when I was like a really really young kid at a friend's house, and I was like,
Mhm.
right, okay, I like this series. When I got my PS2, I thought I'll give four a shot. And like four's great when you're like a kid and you're not like looking to be mega.
Playing it now, no, no
Like
way.
it's like what the fuck? I could move before like the match
The
starts.
ground starts.
Like
It's true.
and I always used to hate like this one. What was the area? It was like a shopping center where there was stairs. There was stairs that led upwards as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah, like there was like the mall, wasn't it?
I used to hate that.
That was just the.
And like I also love like when you're a young kid and you have the 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 big brother or your older cousin, the nemesis kind of thing. You know what I mean, Rich? Like, doesn't matter how good you get, you're always going to be below your cousin as well. I couldn't beat my cousin's Horang to save my
I mean,
fucking life.
I'm the oldest, so it was me that was the old. I'm the older cousin. I'm the older brother. That's the one to beat.
Oh my god, Heihachi's kicking my ass. Like, enter, you know the meme of Piccolo, like when you hear about your kid, you're at a family house and all the cousins are talking about Smash and Tekken and Street Fighter. It's like
Yeah,
Piccolo walking through the door, like, hang on a sec.
yeah. That was me. I was that one.
How is it that you kind of like? I always find this a bit interesting too, because we all grow up like liking the game a bit more than on a standard casual level. You know what I mean? Some people just pick up like Street Fighter, Guilty Gear, etc., etc., and they kind of pick it up and think, "Oh yeah, that's good," and then collects dust in the Steam library or collects dust on the case for a bit. Whereas like other people like us, with like Tekken and Smash, etc., want to do it more and we get more time out of it. And then there's that kind of medium where we think, I'm going to start following the competitive scene, and then okay, maybe I might enter an events as well. What was like your kind of early exposure to like the competitive scene, like in the region?
So I think the main competitive side of it was literally. literally was from Belong. It literally was from that side of
Mm.
it. We started when we first opened our very first Birmingham Belong, which is what I'm wearing now. I'm wearing the Belong jersey,
This guy
repping.
always wears the fucking belong stuff. That I've checked the. It's not even that team anymore, is it? Like it's the Birmingham
No, no,
Bruisers.
there's two, but this one's basically, I think this one's closed now. Because I moved. This was the first one. I was one of the first people to work in the Birmingham Belong,
Mm.
and they were doing stuff like, oh, we were trying to do like a tech and casual thing,
Mm.
try and get some
Mm.
players, and we reached out, and then we got hit up by Dante, who's a big name in the scene at the time.
Yeah.
From him, we managed to get Cloud, Cup of Noodles. That's how I became friends with these guys because they came down to our very first like big belong stuff that we did,
Yeah.
and they faced the likes of people like this was back when Richie wasn't in Birmingham at the time, so he was in the London team.
Mm.
So you faced like Rukang, Richie, and stuff like that. Then when the London lot were in a final, we hosted the final in Insomnia, and then that's when the London guys came down to Birmingham, did a like a casual session with our guys, and that's how I met all of these guys from the London scene as well. Obviously, Richie now lives in the Midlands again, so he's part of our side of it. But that from them, and then we did a big for the new when the new store opened, we did a big Tekken 7 tournament. Sorry,
Mm.
for just offline. People came down from all sorts, from Manny, from London, from like even like the Tyneside, all of them, all
Yeah.
of those cities, and that's how literally everyone knew who I was because I was running Belong. I got the nickname the Belong guy from that because I don't know, it just became a thing. And then because of VSF and getting to know Justin, and because I literally have been to a few of the older VSFs
Mm.
back when like Smash 4 and stuff was out.
Mm.
So I met Justin just because I am good friends with his cousin. His cousin introduced me,
Mm.
and then obviously when Justin found out that we had like a big one in the city center, we started doing collabs with him.
Mm.
That's just how I got into competitive scene. But just meeting all of these people from Birmingham, I kept running like a little casual session before VSF, so that's how I met a lot more international players. I even get to a point where people were like, "Oh, is there any sessions?" People were tagging me in the replies. Message this guy, message him, message him. And then I just got basically, oh, it's the Belong guy. Are you guys running a thing? I was like, yep, yes, we are. You can come in. We'll have Tekken available, stuff like that.
Did you used to
And
get
that's
like?
basically.
Did you get called the belong guy, as in like when people still knew you, as in like you say, "Oh, my name's Gio," whatever, and it's like, "No, you're the belong guy." Like that is like.
It's
it's
like, oh, like I would be like, oh, I'm Gio. It's like, oh, you the Belong guy. And it got to a point. It got like my brother hates it because I was known as Belong guy. He was called the Belong guy's brother.
ah, it's the worst.
And he was like, why don't he doesn't get a win in this because he doesn't even get a name at the time.
It's known as like a third entity. So he's like
Yeah,
a few like my name's this, like just call me that.
yeah, yeah.
I
Now
was
everyone calls me obviously by Geo because the Belong doesn't exist
yeah,
anymore.
I was at
And obviously I don't Belong stuff anymore, so it's like they just call me by Geo now. So.
I was at like one I was at one of the TO's weddings fairly recently, and like Dizzle has only ever known me as Cookie, as in like
Mhm.
I'm not secret. My name's Jack, and I don't mind being called like Jack, Cookie, Mr. Cookie, whatever. I'm like perfectly fine. But like he's only ever said Cookie to me. So like going to his wedding and all that, I was like, "Oh, lovely to meet you." They said, "How do you know Dan?" I said, "Oh, I do this, this, this." Don't recognise your name, mate. So my name's Jack. He calls me Cookie. They're like, "Oh, Cookie, yeah, I know who you are." I'm like, I think these are people like who are these are just like average people as well, like they've just heard about this
Yeah.
this guy who's called Cookie, like it's my actual first, like it's my
They thought
actual
like what the like Cookie as in the Cookie Monster or something
yeah,
like you know what
as
I
in
mean?
like that's my actual full. By the way, the name Mr. Cookie is is a fun lore drop for all the people. My original tag was called Mr. Cookie Monster, but in Smash you can't have 12 characters, so I had to drop the monster. I
So you
had
have
to
to drop the
I
monster.
had to drop the monster bit of it as well. Probably for the best because like I don't think a 31-year-old being named Mr. Cookie Monster is like the most non-cringe ever as well. So like um can you just tell us about some of the events that have really stuck out to you? Like the events that you've ran, the events that you've been to, participated in, spectated in, whatever. What are some of the
Yeah, so
big events that stick with you?
so the biggest event like I attended properly was obviously versus fighting. This
Mm.
was 2022
Mm.
was my first proper one where I competed like in Tekken. Um, that was probably like my big experience actually going to a big event. Back when we went to versus fighting many years ago when Smash 4 came out, it was more of a case like I was just going there casually. I wasn't paying attention to who was going. I
Yeah.
just went with some friends, kind of stuff. Whereas this one was like, look, I know a lot of people here. You know, I've been playing a bit, try and get there. Um, but I think going to versifying, like the past 2 years now, 2023 and 2024, my first match has always been on stream. So I've been on the official Tekken stream twice, and I've lost 2-1 on both of them. It's so annoying because it's like, it's just why put me on stream for the first one? I haven't had any warm up. I'm just going straight onto stream. I'm
it's
like, all right, cool.
stream curse. Like stream curse is a real thing as well.
Yeah, I think because I've done a lot of events, I think the best event that I did was literally the opening Tekken 7 tournament, like for when the city center belong opened up,
Mm.
and that was like my insight into getting to being known to a lot of all of these players and stuff. Because with that, obviously, that boosted like what I do to a case where like yourself, Warsaw guys, they're all coming to me for some advice, how
Mm.
to do
Mm.
this, how to do that, and it's just obviously we want Tekken in the Midlands to grow. Now that there's no Birmingham one anymore, there's literally we need Tekken in the Midlands, and that's where it's like all of the event stuff that I've done helps, with all the other guys that want to learn how to do it and just needs general help with anything. So, yeah, I'd say the big Belong Tekken 7 tournament, uh, and then definitely going to Versus Fight for the first time for Tekken. So 2022 was the proper one where I went to. I've obviously been going ever since for the past few years. I'm going again this year, and just generally just playing casually again because I've got to a point where I'm just going back to being casually again.
Everyone has their sweat mode. And has
Yeah.
their sweat period. You know what I mean? Everyone's got that certain time in their life where they're like, I've got time, I've got the enthusiasm, I'm locked in, and I can openly commit to it. And it's almost it is like it's a good phase that you can go through as well. You can really, really get to grips with the game, throw yourself into it, and also when you're in a good positive mindset to do it. And that at a level where we're not like professional, you know what I mean? Like not we're not making money off it as well. We could be good in our
Mhm.
region. We can just be getting like top 8 at locals and whatever that stuff. Doing well at regionals. It's a great phase, and it's kind of like because this has been my attitude with Smash for like ages now. Is that it's nice to just kind of take that step back and go, all right, I'm just here to run events now. I'll play it like every now and again as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's interesting as well because like of all the people I've spoken to so far, it's nice talking to someone who's more of a TO than a player in that sense. And I think that's a fair
Mhm.
comment. You'd see yourself more as
Yeah.
like a
I
TO.
am more of a team player. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's like I got a bit one thing that I do really like reading about VSF is like looking back at the old venues because VSF literally started upstairs in the pub, didn't it?
VSF has had so many different venues. Yeah. I think now that they've locked in Millennium Point, it's probably like the best venue they've had. We've been in things like I think it was the Rep Theatre. I remember going to one, which is obviously further into city
Mm.
centre a bit more. But yeah, it's just literally just where they grow, where they came from is just small little place to now like the biggest building with every floor being now
Mm.
filled.
I remember like I went to go see PTK a few months ago with my mother and we walked through Millennium Point to get to like the arena and all that. And
Hmm.
like when you go there in the middle of the day or like it's like towards evening even, it's not that full. And she went, "Well, you never see anything going on in this building." And I mentioned that there's a tournament that happens here every year for 3 days, and every single floor and every single room of this is full. Like, not even just full of like cabinets or full of like setups. Like the amount of people in this room is
Yeah,
ridiculous. I mean, I've said on previous previous streams before that I I definitely can't attend the Saturday of this year's VSF because I'm at a friend's wedding. But like, I'll probably swing by like Friday afternoon. What time does Pools and Tekken start for like VSF this year? Because I'll see if I can just get there.
Generally, last year was like 10 or 11
Oh,
that we started.
in the morning then.
Yeah, on the Friday. Yeah, yeah.
All right.
That was back when it was a master event. Obviously, being a challenger event this year, I'm not as sure, but it was like literally like 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning. The last year.
All right. I'll politely ask for like a lunchtime slot. You know what I mean? Just come. I'll bring the briefcase. I'll bring the briefcase actually as well. Like that'll just look professional. Like so, talking on the level as in you already mentioned that you see yourself more as like a TO more than a competitor, and you're stepping more back into the sort of I'm gonna play the game on a more casual basis, bust it out, rely on your fundamentals and all that. What sort
Hmm.
of goals do you have for the remainder of the year as like a TO or as a casual or just as a fan of the game as well? What do you kind of want to achieve for like either yourself or the scene in the next like 6 months to a year or so?
I'm just happy to be the one to help the scene grow because the scene obviously went down a bit because a lot of players stopped playing Tekken 8 after it came out,
Mm,
and I just want to we've got a lot more newer players coming in, showing us that we can have Midlands Tekken and be full with loads of players and new players, and I just want to be a part of just more things to come. Basically, I just want to help out as much as I can. In terms of like playing, just I ain't fussed anymore. I think last year was when I was locked in a bit more. I was making top 8 consistently.
mm,
In the big tournaments, I was just missing out on top 32.
mm,
So I was doing all right. Obviously with Tekken Ball, I was playing that as well, but that was only happening last year, and I did quite well in that. But it's kind of like faded out a bit now. We is going to be back at versus fighting,
mm,
so I'm definitely going to be there for that. But I think there's not been as much events that I went to this year compared to last year, where I was going to Manchester, I was going to London, I was going to Liverpool. I might go to Merseyside,
Drowning pools.
what is it, Drowning Pools again this year. I know a couple of other a lot are going, so I might go to that. Would probably go Manchester again for one of the days for one of the bigger ones they do.
Mm.
But obviously, Walsall and Wolves are like literally down the road one way, down the road the other way. So it's like
It's convenient, isn't it? You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
I signed up to drowning pools, like because I just thought, you know what? I was meant to go to like a previous one. Me and my best mate were meant to go. Something came up for both of us, and we were just like, whatever. Like we can't go. We'll wait till next time as well. So I'm definitely going to contribute to that as well. I mean, you've got like you've got a Tekken Ball title to defend as well. Never forget that.
Oh yeah, I mean the one I actually won, I'm still the only winner of it because it hasn't happened again. Um,
Undefeated.
so undefeated at Iron Pride. The third place that I got at versus Flying, I need to do better than that. So,
I keep forget. I
and that was over like 113 people as well. So
That's not bad, man. That's not bad.
yeah,
Just hopefully they'll bring back bowling and then like maybe we can see some real competition. You know what I mean?
I was just gonna pick Alyssa with the best like point of view.
This yeah. Oh, good.
Yeah, Jack. I remember Jack and Alyssa, and I think Brian. They have like a different HUD because obviously they're robotic.
hmm
So their HUD is actually different, and it looks a lot better when you play it as any of them.
There's a meta for bowling.
There is some people had like S and S, and you're just like, well, why just pick those people? Why would I pick someone that has a C rank when I could just pick S rank ones?
I love
I
that.
feel like Kazuya was like one of the best ones, and you just like
I was gonna
just
say
seeing him getting happy over bowling is so funny.
when it comes to like the kind of help that you've given out, like the local scenes as well. Wolves and Warsaw too. From a like again newcomer's perspective of like running a regional and then thinking, oh yeah, we'd love to run a dojo event as well. And being like, here are the rules you need to abide by specifically. Because like you come from a Smash background and Nintendo just hates you anyway, so it's just like you know what I mean, like as in whatever.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter whether the company supports us or not, but having like the TWT status and understanding that here are the rules. They're not the hardest thing ever, but it's like you need to get it right. It's
Mhm.
when you know, but it's nice just having someone to kind of like foster that sort of scene and tell the TOs, here's what you need to do. Bare minimum, here's exactly what you need to do. Here's what you need to abide by. I mean, there's been a few people like in the company as well who've like helped out with all this stuff because like we tend to go pretty hard on the branding and all that. You know, we tend to like have bespoke images for everything, and like even just having to put like some of the legal wording underneath it as well. It's like, oh, okay, I never would have thought of that. Or even just having to
Yeah.
like make sure they use this kind of format as well. It's it's been great, and honestly, I'm really looking forward to like more events like this cropping up because nobody can just wait a year for VSF, and I think it's like smaller events like obviously Warsaw's like hitting consistently 24 plus people all the time. That's going to be a 32 cap soon. Drowning Pools is pretty consistent too. We know that the guys up in NBA have got events like is it every 2 months, isn't it? It's about every 2 months.
NBA does like it's one a month, I'm sure. So they're monthly.
Is it actually monthly? God damn.
I feel like it is. It might be 2 months, but I think they swap a lot of their games around, so
Oh,
they might not
okay.
be consistent with a lot of the games. They are consistent, always running a monthly, but they always do different games and stuff.
See, like, I'd love that to be a thing for Tilt and Tap as well. It's just that the West Midlands is such a specific tech and heavy region. Like,
Hmm.
I mean, I'll put out like I might put out like Ultimate Marvel versus Capcom 3, thinking, oh yeah, that'll get some boomers up, and it's like a few people are signed up to it. But I'm like, yep, calm, whatever. Odd. Like everyone hates Tekken at the moment. Everyone says the game's absolutely trash, but like it still consistently gets the highest sign-ups out
Yeah,
of
I
like.
feel like the updates are fixing it, and a lot of people are like, okay, now we could try it. Season two start of it was probably the worst of all time, and that it was probably just at that point just reverted back to season one. But with the consistent updates that they're doing, they're being more fluid with everything. They're
Mm,
doing, they're telling us everything that's gonna be when it's gonna happen and things like that. And I feel like that's what's helping the game better now. Uh, and, with some of with Midlands definitely, a lot of it is tech and heavy, and there is a lot of good Street Fighter players around. It's just like they're not playing offline.
I
They're not.
remember.
Whereas we want offline because the online isn't as good. Street Fighter's online is a lot more decent, which is why people are just like, yeah, we could just play online.
I've noticed that too as well. I mean, like I've said this before to a few people, but I am the most kind of like gaming heavy person in my friend group, and not just in terms of like playing video games, but the kind of games that I play. Like I'm with a bunch of FIFA bros, and I'm the only guy who plays like JRPGs,
Hmm.
single player, I mean stuff like that. So like a lot of my friends know that I play Tekken and Smash, bit of Street Fighter here and there, whatever odd. And like when season two released, they were like, "Jack, are you okay? Like, is everything all right?" The discourse was that bad, it reached them, and they were like, "Oh, like, oh, hang on a second here. Like, is everything going all right over there for you?" I just, I just wish that like the the updates are not going to be as frequent from July onwards. Is that right?
Hmm. Yeah, but the fact I mean the fact that they were doing all of these updates anyway is still better than nothing at all.
I mean, yeah. I mean, look, I'm an optimist at heart, and it's getting better. Is it where we? It was interesting because, like, Tekken 8 came out, and it was so much of a more aggressive kind of game as well. You had new mechanics as well, kind of throwing a lot of even like veteran players like through the loop. You know what I mean? And like talking at the highest level as well. I think it's relatively enough to say that uh, it it was the biggest change in a main series game since we had. Honestly, I want to say from four. Like this, if I'm talking shit, by the way, just like call me out for it. But I think like from memory, 5, 6, and 7 were like iterative. 8 comes out hyper aggressive. You got to deal with like heat, which is its own thing entirely, and it threw a lot of like veteran players through a loop. But towards the end of
Mhm.
season one, you started to see the adaptation. You started to see like legacy players really, really adapt to it, and you saw some absolutely great results off it, and you saw some fantastic games. And season two comes out, and it's like you almost had something. You almost had
Yeah,
something where it was like,
I feel like end of season one was probably a good time. Like I said, I enjoyed most of the end of season one. That's where I was actually playing it a
mm,
lot more. And then when season 2 came out, I felt like I just don't even want to play the game, and I'd rather just TO. And then I've kind of still got that fixation on that. But I feel like, I will probably go back into playing it a bit more once that, because obviously when it comes to for like Warsaw, for example, and the guys there, we're getting a bit more TOs for like yourself
Hmm.
in Wolves because you have a lot more TOs. You can also enter, whereas
Mm.
getting to a point where it's like I don't have a chance to enter because there's not enough of us. And now with all of that, I'm doing what you can do. You can run the tournament and still play because you've got people around now. So I feel like I'm slowly going back into playing it again. So
Just having more hands on deck's always, even if it's just like, hey, if I'm not available, can you go to that person and just report scores? You know what I mean? Do nothing
yeah.
else but just report scores. It reminds me ages ago. It's back when me and Connor were like, when I was playing Smash actively. And like Connor's well before he joined the team, he was always like a day one supporter of like I'll help report scores because he does work with Regen too, which is obviously brilliant. And I remember me
Hmm.
and him were like having a, it was like game three, absolute sweat fest as well. And I just about managed to clinch the win. And everyone was looking at us playing the game, and I was thinking, oh god, like this must be a really hype set because it was neck and neck. And then I said like, oh, was that a good set to watch? And everyone was like, no, we just all want to report scores. It's like, fuck's sake, because it was just us two reported the scores. I was like, fuck's
Hmm.
sake, I thought that was actually something good. But I was playing Sora and he was playing Roy, so of course it wasn't going to be a hype
It's
set.
not even I know that's not even a good matchup.
There was like a source tier list that came out, like you said, oh, which characters have got the source, and like Sora was like bottom 10. I was like, come on, like yeah, he's dull, but is he like that bad? He probably is. Look, objectively speaking, he probably is. Now, what's while I'm thinking about this, what's like, we already know what the rest of season two is going to look like. We already know that we're going to get Armor King, the goat come back. We don't have any idea about the new character that's going to come out in season
Hmm.
two because it's new character. It could be Marduk with like a Groucho Marx mustache for all that we know. What's a character that you'd love to see come back like in season three, like a returning character for you?
So so in like a jokey way, Gon is the one I wanted,
Mm,
but obviously due to copyright and stuff, because he was technically a guest character. And then the closest you have is Alex. Now Alex or Roger would have been. It's just like a rogue pick, I think,
mm.
because who even wants a boxing dinosaur or a boxing kangaroo? Um, but in terms of like more of a popular character, I do want Miguel back.
Mm. You say that though, like every person I've talked to so far has said Roger. I'm not even kidding. Every single person I've spoken to has said like Roger. Like,
I'd prefer Alex over Roger though. I prefer the dinosaur over the kangaroo, mostly because of Gon. It's closest I'm gonna get. Give me an orange skin for Alex, then you're basically gone.
like when it was interesting because like when Tekken 3 came out, like, and we played it when we were younger as well. We just didn't understand that Gon was like a manga character. We didn't. We were
Hmm.
just like, oh, there's a funny dinosaur that like he can fart on people. Like, haha, that's pretty clever, I guess, and all that. But like, does Gon the dinosaur make more sense than Negan, like in Tekken 7? They're both
Yeah,
fucking ridiculous.
of
They're both fucking dumb
course
at
it
the end of it.
does. Gun is always gonna make more sense. He has an infinite loop ending that you could
Does
or
he?
that you have to stop yourself. I got to a point where I was watching. I was like, "Hang on, is this infinitely looping? Like, is it gonna end? You just have to. It'll just keep looping. It will just keep playing.
I didn't know that actually.
It does. Yeah, yeah. If you watch his ending in the actual game, because if you watch on YouTube, it's probably just gonna be like the 12-second video, but it actually just constantly loops.
Does it really? Oh, I'm doing 100%
Yeah.
doing that once I'm done. I'll put that while I'm editing this. I'll put that on in the background. Like, I I think that Bandai Namco should stop being fucking cowards and put Mokujin back in. Like,
Oh,
just
I don't want him as a DLC. I want him to be a free character. I want Makujin, but I don't want him as a DLC. I just want him to be a free character. Here's Makujin. If it comes to a point where it's like, okay, you know, online player match and not ranked, okay, fine. I just want him in the game. I just want to be able to just play him, and he just random every game.
I you know that
Makujin only tournaments.
how there are some people who are into sports, for example, and they are
Yeah.
like the statistics nerd. You know what I mean? They're that kind of guy who'll be able to say, the last time that Spurs beat Villa was this date, and then the last
Hmm.
time they won before that is this date. I feel like if Mokujic ever comes back to the game, the Tekken equivalent of those guys are going to go bump. Like, as in, it's like hit finally all of the useless fucking like character data and frame data I know as well. It's like, yes, I'm one of the people who understands every character now. Like, finally. But everyone's just going to pick their main instead. Unless you just go like with the fucking double Mokujin tournament, double Mokujin brackets, which would be funny as fuck. Like, which would be
Oh yeah, definitely. I want a Makujin only tournament. Like that's all I want.
it's just like picking the mirror, except it's not even the mirror. Like,
Yeah, and it's like and you have to guess who you are. If like the way like when I did when me and my brother were playing some of the older games that we could play Makujin, and it's like I don't even know who I am, and I could just instantly know because I just remember everyone's stances. And like I do like certain moves, and I was like, okay, yeah, this is this version of this character. This is this character. Like that's how I remember. It's weird. Like we would just keep playing, and I was like, okay, I know who I am. I know like three moves with this one character, so I'll just keep spamming those three
that's
moves
enough.
because I know it's this character. That's enough because I know it's this character. I'm gonna spam his moves that I know from this character.
You just press like 2 and 3, and you think, all right, okay, I think it might be Victor, but you know what? We'll move.
But
Right.
I mean, someone like that you'd know because they have the weapons. So any
Yoshi's
weapon
sword,
type.
like Yoshimitsu, you
Yeah,
instantly know because he's got the sword as well.
yeah,
He starts floating in the air. It's like, you're obviously Alyssa. Like, come on.
yeah.
Goes to input and electric. It's like, okay, I'm a Mishima, but which one? Like,
Which one? Yeah. So you have to know what their stance is or what their grabs are or something like that, or how their hop kick work.
knowing grabs. What the fuck? Like,
Yeah. He actually does the Batista bomb, so it's Hideyachi because he does the Batista bomb.
the terrifying thing of just being like, and I think that's just what I do. I would just like try and mash and find a grab and just be like, fuck, I don't even know what the grab break is. Like, how are you gonna know? This-
King player that is. That's the king player mentality that is.
I think like I said this to a few people as well. Like, if there's ever an opportunity for me to grab, I will take it every single time. Not because it's the most optimal, but just sometimes I feel like it's the funniest. Like,
Yeah,
when you find a player who can't break grabs as well, it's just like oh, I'm sorry. Like, I remember like getting into the game as well, and chatting to like a few people who can't make it to events, unfortunately, and we were talking about grab breaks and all that as like a mechanic to properly get your head around understanding how a grab break works. And a friend of mine said, "Oh, you'd like it because like at the end of every video that says, here's how you break grabs, here's what you press, whatever odd, there's a bit every person says, except King, that fucker just cheats. Like,
yeah.
he doesn't.
Anything that you think is a 1+2 is a 1 or a 2, what you think is a 2 break is just a 1. It's just all over the place.
Yeah, and then you've just got two moves that have like the exact same animation, but they're different breaks because fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, literally fuck you. That's why. Right. That's all we got time for today, mate. Really, really, really loved having a chat with you.
No problem.
I'll see you at the next round. I'll see you at the next one. Is there anything else you want to say to the people who are going to be watching this, or like attending Tilt and Tap later on in the month?
Uh, just follow me on socials. That's what I'm just gonna shout on my Twitter.
Like,
Big
like,
things to come, maybe.
am I gonna have the Twitter somewhere? It'll be in the description. You'll get shout outs to Twitter and all that stuff as well. All right. Love you chatting to you, bud.
See you later.